Okay, here we are. I'm gonna stay a little quieter on this one too. I gotta go to the washroom right away, so watch over. Don't let anything disappear. Amazing, we're still here. Alrighty. So I am now at whatever the title says, Starbucks on 320 Cook Street, Victoria, BC, and a lot of the seating has been taken out of here. Some of the seating still is temporarily closed, but they do have some spots off to the side so you can still enjoy the couches and stuff. And there's 3 seats. You can see all the other seats out here are taken. Yeah, you're able to come in here, power up, use internet, and order. Obviously, you can stay here as well, so it's not too bad. That's one of the areas you can come and enjoy. There's plenty of power ports in here, pretty much anywhere you sit. Other than those island tables, I'm not seeing any power there, but anywhere along the wall here or in the couch seats, there's lots of power. So definitely a good place to come power up. I don't know how well the internet is, but we're on. Things are happening. So far, what is this? Number 6, number 7? I gotta start keeping count on this because I'm gonna start losing it. Should have brought a pen and wrote everything down, each location that I went to and what order, and then I would know for later. Oh wow, there's a Porsche out there. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that from here. Do you see that? That's pretty rare. You don't see Porsches like that very often. But if you come to Victoria, you see cars like this all the time. It's unbelievable. I love it. Like, that is a very rare car for one, and a very pricey car. Like, you see these things all the time, all around Victoria, because there's not really a poor or a rich area. It's all mixed together, and it's everywhere. So, yeah, that's one of the highlights I like about living around here. You see all kinds of classic cars, and you see lots of supercars as well. I tend to see more of the classic cars than I see supercars, so that's kind of nice. supercars have their own kind of glory of their own, which is obviously great. I like seeing them. I'd love to own a supercar, but at the same time, like seeing a bathtub Porsche sitting right there, that's you just don't get that. You don't see that in every city that you go to. I've seen a lot of classics here that you don't see on a regular basis. And one great thing about it is it snows here once a year, so it might stay for a week if you're lucky. It's usually gone the next day. Like it'll snow a good foot. It's super fluffy at first, but it's so warm here that it gets very heavy and wet in a hurry. But that being said, you can drive these cars all year round here. So you can drive the super sports car or front wheel drive car here without any issues any time of the year. So it's kind of like, living in California. In Canada, Victoria, BC is basically kind of known as Canada's Hawaii, I guess you could say, as America would call Hawaii. This is our most tropical kind of area. That's kind of like a rainforest in the winter. We get a lot of rain. It can rain for a week straight, 2 weeks straight. Yeah, it kind of gets depressing because you don't get to see the sun, but at the same time, you're not out there dealing with the snow. You don't have to shovel it. It all goes away. It moves on. That's kind of cool. I like it. I really don't like dealing with snow. The more I can stay away from it, the better. Yeah, this is a nice little area. Where are we at here? This is a certain neighborhood. There's a lot of beautiful little areas around Victoria that you have to see. And that's kind of what's kind of cool about going around to all these different Starbucks. I'm going to be able to show you roughly what the neighborhood looks like from outside. You're not going to get the full view of Victoria, obviously, because I can't tour around with you, do a live stream everywhere because I don't have the capabilities of doing that yet. But I'm just going to open up the maps here. And yeah, so right now I guess it would be Fairfield that I'm in. So you got to remember, back in the day, as in any city that you go to, neighborhoods were often old cities or little towns back in one day. And Victoria is that. That's why we have 14 different municipalities, because the area grew into each other. I'm just turning you back onto the Amazon screen so that people don't see themselves. So yeah, it's kind of cool like that. When you go down to these different areas, it seems like little downtowns everywhere you go, because they're actually different little towns. So they are basically little different uptowns, you can call them, or downtowns, however you want to name it. So yeah, it kind of keeps some nice character to the area, because you can really get to see the true atmosphere of the city, what it grew into. Like Victoria itself, downtown, is a lot of stone structure, and the way that they built back in the day, that building code is obviously not followed today, so you don't get the stone structures anymore like we used to. You can still build with stone, but you'd have to do like cinder blocks first, and then do a stone face on top of that. So it wouldn't be how it was built originally, but you still can get something very characteristic. The only thing is that it can get very pricey at the same time too, right? So it's unfortunate that Canada builds their houses out of wood and doesn't do it like Italy and build everything out of stone. So it was absolutely amazing when I traveled to France and Italy. You got to see buildings all over the place that were there for thousands of years. Like, you're literally walking on history, and don't quite realize it until you get into the whole atmosphere of it and start seeing how the infrastructure built around the old existing infrastructure. You can see that there was old walls built for wars and whatnot. You don't have that around Canada. You have some of the you still have some of the castle effect, because there are two castles here in Victoria, one near where I am right now, and Hatley Castle, which was Royal Oak, or Royal Roads, used to be the military college. Now it's open to the public. Still a very expensive and kind of exclusive college to go study at. But yeah, it's very beautiful. So you get the stone structures in the area, but you don't get that history of stone walls, you know, uh, all the artifacts from having wars and whatnot in the area. So kind of cool. Um, and then when you go out to like Eastern Canada and whatnot, you really get to see the stone structure kind of build up. You don't get that atmosphere out here in Western Canada. The closest you're going to get to it is probably right here, or maybe Stevens Avenue, Calgary. You know, a little bit of Calgary has some of the history. Vancouver probably has some. I don't know the city all that well. I haven't really toured around it, but it is a very modern area, so I'm sure that a lot of it got ripped down. It seems to be a common situation for us in Canada. If you guys are out of Canada and watching me, so yeah, we like to rip stuff down and build new. So things just don't last. Creates work for one, but yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. We do lose a lot of history from it. Okay, so 11 minutes. I got one viewer still, so kind of cool. Got somebody following me around everywhere I go, so must be a fairly decent feed here. There's a few other people definitely using the internet from what I can see. One, there's at least 3 of us using the internet, right? 3 other people besides myself, so we have a strong feed and they're able to use it. Some of them were on before me, and I'm on now. It's going to be interesting to see what the results are for myself at the end of this. So you guys get to see it firsthand of what the feed is like. I know when I've done the live stream at home, it was said that it cut out. And I think that would be the internet, but either the internet or YouTube, or I kind of cut in and out sometimes with my voice and my speech. So if I am repeating certain things, there's a reason for it. One, it's kind of my character and my personality, because I've noticed in the past and just through education and whatnot, most people only retain 10% of what they hear. So if you're going to go for a course, you know, in construction, generally you got to take courses every 2 to 3 years and it's repeated. It seems silly, but there is a reason behind it, because if you're going to stay in the industry for 20 to 40 years, it's going to be implanted in your head, and hopefully you don't become complacent amongst it. So there's a consistency and it's repeated. So that's kind of why I repeat things. So just in case I get cut out and you don't hear it the first time, or if the background noises are too loud and you weren't able to pick it up, hopefully and potentially I'll say things twice and you'll be able to gather on that. Now, obviously, not everything I'm going to repeat, but you know, for the things that I do. So if you're just catching on now, what am I at? I haven't said it on this video. We're at 13 minutes. This is basically a test. One, to see what the internet connection is like at Starbucks. 2, I guess it's kind of growing to see where I'm able to charge up and connect to the Starbucks. Some of them I've been able to charge now. Others I've been able to use the internet. Some I've been able to use the internet and charge and sit down. The last place I wasn't able to sit down. So there's some added variables that were not thought of, obviously, before I started this. There is almost little to no thought concept put into this. I came up with it around 11:30 or 12 o'clock last night, just before I went to bed. So it's just kind of how my thoughts come. Sometimes they come to me, and then I put them to play. Basically, I want to become a live stream feed type person and get into I was going to say Instacart, but that's not what I want to do. I definitely don't want to buy your groceries and deal with that kind of chaos behind it. So I'm just looking at becoming an independent contracted courier and work for Skip the Dishes and DoorDash. So basically skip and dash. Or some people call it skip dashing. I'm calling mine skip and dash. Here's a little logo that I made. So you can see mine. This is basically how I'm going to be running. Thinking about making some of the logos so that I can go online, put some stickers on my car, try and advertise a little bit more than just online, and try and pick up some of the locals onto my channel. See if I can gain a few more subscribers. And basically, I want to be able to show you through a live stream feed your food being delivered to you firsthand, so you have the comfort knowledge of how your food's being handled and when it's going to arrive at your door, and a lot more clear because you're able to see it traveling through. So right now, I don't have the equipment set up, nor do I have the money to purchase it, so I have to get on with Skip the Dishes. So I've been cleared, as far as I know, through my security clearance of my criminal record check. And I'm just waiting for my bags to arrive, so 3 to 5 days. So I'm trying to fill up my time with that. When you apply for DoorDash and Skip the Dishes on your phone, which is recommended by myself so far, I found that it was easier to sign on through the phone than through the computer, but also through the phone. At the end of it, it asks you through the app if you want to be followed, if you want this app to follow you while the app is on or all the time. And so I chose all the time because I'm new to this and I'm getting into it. So part of this week's venture before I get hired on is to just stay in these high traffic areas where there are potential restaurants right here. I guess there's restaurants all throughout the city. So stay in high traffic areas, stay where there's high volume of living, so lots of condominiums. I guess that would be number 2, kind of a hot spot. And then 3, these guys are following me. If these 2 apps are following me and I'm in these areas, then it's more potentially or likely that they will accept me as a personalized or independent contracted courier to provide services for them and you guys. So there's kind of a little master plan that I just put together. This is all whipped up together in my own mind, but yeah, I'd rather be out and about with this app tracking me than sitting at home in my own comfort and not being around areas where there's lots of people or lots of traffic, lots of food traffic, lots of delivery service kind of happening. So here I am, keeping myself busy for one, so that I don't go stir crazy waiting for these bags to come. That kind of already went on this weekend. I think I tried applying like 5 or 6 times to Skip the Dishes because I want my application to go through. I just keep trying to push it through, but obviously with the internet, you can only go so far. It's going to stop you. And did the same. Did the same with DoorDash. So tried signing on with them 2 or 3 times, and every time that I signed on after the first, they said that I'm signed on, and they already have enough DoorDashers that they're not going to accept me at this moment, but I'm on the waiting list, and they will send me an email as soon as something available happens. That being said, that's good because I'm not exactly ready or set up. I do have a thermal insulated bag that I purchased through Safeway years ago. Don't really want to use it. It's not dirty by any means, but it's not completely sanitary. So I'd rather wait until I have the brand new bags. I didn't pick up some a couple weeks ago. I saw some online and didn't pick them up. They were brand new. Unfortunately, I was still on the wall thinking about doing this. I've been thinking about it for a year. Sometimes I think about things for a long time, and then others I don't. I don't know why I think about things that could really potentially do well for me. And then other things that don't, I jump onto immediately. It's kind of weird like that. But I guess that's just my character and my personality. And the more I live stream, the more you're going to be able to see this come out of me. But so here we are, out and about. Yeah, we're at 19 minutes. That's a long live stream. We've done it again. Been trying to keep it at an average of 5 minutes so that we can see if we get in a good, strong, solid feed or not. See how well it distributes to the internet and processes through the internet to YouTube. Sorry, that's what I mean. And then obviously the processing takes up to 48 hours or something like that. So I may not be able to see all of these videos until tomorrow or the next day. You guys will be able to. That being said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to review them because with the little master plan that I have going, I'm going to be keeping myself so busy that I'm not exactly going to be doing it or have the time to be able to review these until I'm actually sitting down and waiting. have some time to kill, I guess. We don't necessarily have time to kill. Time is something we can't get back. So I'm going to do this with Starbucks today. I might continue with Starbucks tomorrow if I don't finish all of the locations, because it's good for tourists to see or other locals to see where they can plug in at and where they can get connections. Because so far we've noticed we can't hook up to the internet everywhere and we can't charge everywhere either. So I've charged up to 72% now. It obviously is a lot slower while I'm feeding because we're using a lot of processing energy through the computer, and it takes a lot more for the battery to charge. So I've basically been coming into these buildings as soon as I possibly can, finding a spot to sit down and plug in, or just plug in immediately and try and get this fired up. One place downtown I did get kicked out of. They did have a sign on the table, and I didn't respect it. So yeah, I do have to follow the company policies and procedures here. There was a sign on the door that stated that they can remove you through bylaw, like through police enforcement if they have to. So best not to get into that situation. We're already kind of putting ourselves out there. So thanks, Starbucks. I'm not sponsored or representing them by any means. If something comes out of it, cool. But yeah, so I'm here testing Starbucks internet feed, doing a live stream feed, being mobile with it. I'm not able to take you with me throughout the whole day on the behind the scenes. So I don't have a camera with me, and nor am I doing that because it's a whole lot of extra work at this moment. Trying to get in the flow with this is enough. So I'm just going to keep with that. And as I get more used to this, more comfortable, maybe I will have a camera with me later on. But as a photographer, or potentially trying to become a photographer and make it a professional living or career, I should never leave home without it, right? It should always be strapped to me. But today was a little bit different ordeal. I dressed up in a suit so that I can look a little bit more professional, look like I'm trying to complete business. So I'm not actually purchasing coffees at every Starbucks because I don't exactly have the funds to do so as much as I'd love to do it. Yes, it is a company write-off, but at the same time, it can get very pricey. Try to keep this on a minimal budget, so I've purchased 2 coffees now, and have kept it under $5, or basically at the $5 level for 2 coffees, and using free internet and getting free power. So thank you, Starbucks, for that. And thank you for allowing me to suck up and utilize your internet. And now that I go to every place, I'm using McAfee, and it's recognizing every time I sign on very quickly, and then it gets memorized to my computer that I've been at this location, and it should be even quicker next time when I come back to these locations, if I do come back to hook up to the internet. So that's kind of cool, a little bit reassuring. I've gone to other Starbucks before, and it's taken quite a while to hook up to the internet. You go through the whole startup thing. You gotta wait for it to come up onto your computer, and then click OK, going through the approval process. Now, from what I've noticed from now compared to 3 years ago, hooking up to the internet at Starbucks, it's amazingly fast. Like, I can literally come in here, plug in, turn on the computer, and bang, I'm on. Except for that one place on Government Street downtown. I tried for 15 minutes, and then I finally just turned on my phone and used the hotspot off my phone to stream. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but good test. And yeah, we'll continue on with this. So what are we at? 20 to 10 right now. Should probably look at where our next location is possibly going to be. Browse faster and use less data. Okay, sounds good to me. Okay, Google, Starbucks. What's going on here? Okay, so what am I at here? Number 7. So we've hit up this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and now we're right here. The castle's pretty close, you can see. And I know there's a few more. Maybe I gotta refresh this switch. I think it would just refresh itself on its own. But anyways. Oh yeah, that's right. One closed in Oak Bay area. Quite unfortunate, an area that I was looking to move in. One of the Starbucks closed there, so we're not going to be able to show you that neighborhood now. Yeah, that's right. I went there the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I noticed that it's no longer there. So, unfortunately, they are starting to shut down sometimes. Oh, and I was at the one near Uptown Mall first. So, just going to scan around, see if there's anything else in the downtown area that I missed. And then we'll head to probably the next nearest location and try that out. There was another one downtown, but it's temporarily closed, so there's no sense even trying to go to it. Okay, so there is one in Esquimalt. That's a nice area. Maybe I should head to Esquimalt first before I head further north. So that would be up over here. We're kind of going all over the place. So I pretty much hit up all of these right here now. Now I got to go way back up there. Just want to check the coast a little bit. Nothing on the side there. There was one, so there's one in the Esquimalt. I should go there, and then I'll hit up this one next. After that. And then one headed up towards my house. I know there's a couple up towards where I live, so that's another area. Oh yeah, that's one thing I was going to say about charging. So I guess it was kind of a good thing that I didn't bring it. There is a way that I can charge in my car. I either have the adapter that I can plug into my 12-volt accessories, but with that adapter, I left it at home. I just kind of jumped into this and ran. I wasn't really thinking about it at all. And then the other thing is an inverter. So I've got an inverter for my car, and I can put an inverter in. I still got to install that, so that's part of my plan though, of getting my office set up in my car again. If any of you know me, I used to have an office set up in my truck when I was a consultant for Trans-Canada Pipelines, and so I'm basically going to be setting up a similar situation, but now in my car, because I'm going to be doing the skip the dishes and DoorDash. So I'm getting my laptop mount sent to me, and I'm going to install everything in there and get myself situated so that my car is now my office once again and be mobile. So just clicking on this Starbucks, the directions. So I'll be going to 176 Wilson Street, number 140, Victoria. See that again here on the map. So that's Victoria West. So that's basically Esquimalt. So it's too bad I can't take you guys with me on the tour because I got to go over the bridge. You're going to see some of the bay. But hopefully I can take some of the pictures or, live stream some of it. So it says it's 10-minute drive. Obviously I'm going to have to find some parking within that. But yeah, so far it's been working out. I've been getting free parking and 2 coffees, and I've been able to use the washroom almost everywhere. That's another thing, washrooms. That was one other thing we didn't talk about. So yeah, I've been able to use that at some of the locations, and others they've got it shut down. So I'm actually going to go and use the washroom again and let you view the store while I'm gone, so you can see the activity around here. Hopefully my computer doesn't disappear, so you guys watch over my computer, make sure nothing disappears, and I'll be right back. Yeah, that's a little bit risky considering I just walked away from my computer in a public place. Also left it on Amazon. It's like I'm just searching for a book or whatever, so my computer's completely unlocked. If somebody were to snag it, then they can change the password and just continue on using my computer and have all of my information and everything. A little bit scary that way. One funny thing about this is you can see the green light on. I don't know if other people realize what it is, but not a big deal. Nobody's come up and asked me or said anything yet. But what am I up to? 82%. We're at 9:47 in the morning. I've been streaming for 32 minutes here. So let's move outside. Just unplug you here for a second. I'm going to wrap everything up. We'll take a view outside. Parked super close. We're gonna probably almost just done all of this from inside of my car, but I'll do a little 360 view of in here, and then we'll do a little walk around and move on to the next location. So I like to follow the memory of my cords. I don't like wrapping them up and twisting them. Kind of gross, and I've been putting it on the floor. I'm gonna have to sanitize everything. But keeping it in one compartment in here. Thank you, Starbucks. So this is nice. Got lots of nice seating outside. Seating right at the road. All blocked in. It's a very social little place. It's quite nice. Don't know if there's any plugins outside here. Let's take a look. We're in a nice soft comfy seats. Hey buddy. How's it going? Hey. Oh. You're so friendly. Yeah. Just happy to be out, huh? Don't go too far. You won't go too far. Daddy. Come here.
dogs
so
sneeze like
soft.
that. I don't know what that means.
Sneeze?
They go. They do that. There's a reason why they do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he just bumped his nose on me or something.
No, there's a reason they do that. It's kind of funny.
Maybe it's a certain attraction knowledge
Yeah.
thing. They got, obviously, they have ways of communicating.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
So-
I have to look it up. They do it for a reason.
It's a boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's sitting here with me. Maybe it's an approval thing.
Yeah. Yeah, when he gets excited, he does it too.
Yeah?
It's funny how dogs, they just know if they like somebody. You know, like or another dog, like he'll be 6 feet. Dogs in general, when they're even 10 feet away, they'll look and they'll go, that's not a dog I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
They just get that. I wonder if they're slightly smell or whether they're slightly psychic or what they are.
Oh, I'm sure they can sense people, right? I don't know if you've ever gone into the study of it, but some of us can see auras around people.
Yeah. They say that.
So I think an animal probably sees the aura more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an infrared thing.
Maybe. I don't know what that is, but there's people who claim that's true. Well, everybody's made up of energy, so why wouldn't you be?
Exactly.
Able to, right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say next. I had this piece of property in Creston once, and I had the deer, like I was kind of sitting here on the log,
Yeah.
and a deer came right up to me, literally like where I could touch it, and then as soon as I tensed up,
Yeah.
it noticed it and it buggered off.
They can pick up that right away.
Yeah.
How was Creston? I heard it's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous there.
Someone told me out of all the towns in BC, if you had to move out of Victoria, Creston is one of the nicest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Is there anywhere else that you really liked up there?
Nelson's really nice. It's
But
more up the lake.
But I heard it's too much in a valley. Like it gets dark too early.
Yeah, you're very much in a valley. If you're not on the right side of it,
Yeah.
you're like where my friends live. The sun can go down and it's really shady by 5:30, 6
Yeah.
o'clock. There's
Yeah.
still lots of light until 8 or 9,
But
you're in the shade at that point. So if you
what
bought
about
on
the Okanagan? What's that like?
Okanagan? Well, yeah, and it's. Well, I guess it just depends on what you like for
Yeah.
population. But yeah, when you go to Osoyoos and all like
Penticton.
Penticton, Kelowna and stuff,
Is it bigger?
they are bigger,
Yeah.
but they're more upstream, not kind of laid back.
Like Creston and Nelson, I heard it's got a good energy there. The
Nice
people.
vibe.
Nice vibe. Eh?
Yeah. Nelson is really kind of hippie or yuppie,
Yeah.
right? It's
I
a
heard that.
artsy city
Yeah.
or town,
Yeah.
but it's
It's still got a good vibe.
very good vibe, very nice and social. You've got lots of spots like this where you can sit out there.
Yeah. People are social, like they invite you out and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't really get to know a lot of people there, but when I went to the hot springs in Ainsworth,
Yeah.
lots of locals go there and they'll
Yeah.
talk to you.
Talk and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll invite you, come over to the restaurant or
Oh, that's
whatever.
cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so I kind of enjoyed that because it's, you get that kind of hometown feeling.
Yeah.
Like a big city where
You're just acquaintance with people. Hi and goodbye. Here's your coffee. See you later.
maybe you get lost.
That's exactly it. Give me your money and get lost.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's funny. How you making out Victoria?
Victoria was very interesting. Moving here was one of the most difficult cities, I guess you could say.
Yeah, people say that.
One, financially,
Yeah.
because you're obviously moving to the island, so there's that whole extra expense.
Yeah.
Two, like it's the hardest thing I found was like you go through this huge interview process that I've never had to go through in any other city.
It's weird, eh?
Yeah, and it took us a good 2 to 3 weeks before we actually landed something that we were comfortable with.
When you say we, who's we?
So my girlfriend and I,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
she's from South Korea, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she can speak English very well.
Yeah.
So you almost think she's a native citizen,
Yeah.
but still doesn't know the
So
ways.
you wanted to wait for a job you liked, you said, though. Or
Not
did you
really
just
waiting
take
for a job that I like. No, I just moved here because she wanted to go to school.
Yeah,
So we sold the boat. We were living on it in Ladysmith,
yeah,
and then moved here.
yeah,
I didn't want to get back into construction,
yeah.
but it's the only thing that pays here, right? If you don't have an education.
What, we $20 an hour that you could pay? Not really.
That's
Bare minimum.
bare minimum. Like I tried working at Starbucks when I first moved here. I did for the first month just so I had money flow, right? And the hours they didn't give it to you. You have to basically make 25 plus to live here. minimum.
Minimum.
Because when you're trying to pay for insurance, like just general insurance, I moved from out of province, so even though I'm 41 years old, or 39, 40 when I moved here, they still considered me like a new driver. So it's like,
Well, insurance is not.
my insurance was still $3,000 a month. I mean, a year.
Yeah.
Now it's cut down, so instead of $230 a month, it's like $145.
Yeah,
Right?
insurance is crazy.
So that was one of the costs.
Yeah.
Well,
rent alone.
Rent. I got a good spot, $1,500 for everything included.
Nice.
And
That's a good deal.
I've got a lot of space.
That's a good deal.
That was another big thing. Like I've got easy from here to that garbage can.
Okay,
space.
but don't get rid of that. That's gold.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that's gold.
Because like everything, washer, dryer, internet, you name it.
So now you can, with two of you, do you live together?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
She's
you
gone
can,
at the
you
moment.
can you can get a job that's okay money and get by on that. With two of you, it's okay money.
More or less, other than her dad is supporting her while she's in school.
Yeah, but that's good.
So
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't see many jobs over $20 an hour. I don't see a lot when you go on Indeed and places like that.
it's tough. It's tough. The other one that I did find was insurance, but you have to pay like $500 and either go to school or do it as home correspondence.
Car insurance?
Yeah. Well, any insurance you just work for ICBC, right?
Oh yeah.
You're at independent contractors, but it's all ICBC, so everything's regulated.
That's
not like
stuff too.
But it's not like Alberta where you have to shop for it. You just go on the internet with ICBC.
I don't know what society's kind of turning into now, honestly, to tell you. It's bizarro world. Work for the city is about as good as you can get for a paying job. And there is, Saanich is hiring.
But get on with them.
No, you could. You could get on. Go online. No, online to a district of Saanich.
Yeah.
Get on as a laborer. I'm not kidding you. It's the easiest job in the world. I did it. And, you work, go down and talk to them. Just go in the office, it's HR, and say, I want to put my, it's up on Vernon Street. They're looking for somebody right now.
Also go directly to them.
Do you have any kind of...
I got 22, 23 years of construction behind me.
Okay, well, you know what? You know what? That's the easiest job in the world. Honestly, the only thing is they probably want something like a flagging course or something.
Yeah.
But it's 20 and benefits, right?
Yeah, you'll get your pension. You'll work your way in on that.
Yeah, you start in the ground and work. It depends what you want. If you don't want that lifestyle, then it doesn't matter.
That's the thing. I'm trying to get away
Out
from
with
that.
yeah.
Because, like I said, 22, 23 years of
But it is
construction.
light
It's like-
construction. Light. Like we're talking, watching a backhoe dig up the road a little bit and you sweep up behind it. It's light construction. But anyways, it doesn't matter. If that's not what you're interested in, you want to get into something else, then it's better you go for that.
I've always, I've had jobs, but I've always kind of been a very entrepreneurial kind of
Yeah,
person.
well then if you're an entrepreneur.
So
what would be an entrepreneur thing you'd want to do?
right now, my mission is I want to make all my money off the internet, one way or another. But a lot of people, I think, try to overcomplicate it
Yeah.
and think that you just have to sit at home playing on the computer all day.
Yeah.
So my move right now is a little bit interesting, and I'm going through the hire on or sign on process with Skip the Dishes,
Yeah.
and then hopefully I can get in with DoorDash as well.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's an internet-based business,
Yeah.
right? People are ordering online
Yeah.
now, rather than working for Domino's or somebody like that, getting paid $11.85 an hour and then gaining the extra on your tips.
Mhm.
You're burning out your car and you can't write any of that off.
Yeah.
Now I can work as a subcontractor, an independent contracted courier, basically, and I can write off my fuel, my food, my maintenance,
Yeah.
clothing.
Yeah,
rent,
that's smart.
right. So now I'm a business
Yeah.
doing the same thing as delivery, collecting tips, which is tax free, and everything's paid online. So you're not having to worry about getting to the door
Yeah.
and wondering if it's going to get paid. Like 80-90% of it's prepaid,
That's smart.
right?
That's smart.
And
And
so-
no overhead.
Well, I got my car, but you're gonna have that anyways.
Yeah.
If you're commuting, right?
Yeah.
So you got your car, your insurance, your registration, and a cell phone.
Pretty good. Pretty good business.
Simple.
Pretty good.
And now you can write off your life.
I suggested the city because I'm old school, right? Like, just kind of.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I worked union for over 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Through the laborers.
Yeah.
And I applied for Sanex when I got here. It's great jobs, like 28, 32 bucks an hour to drive a truck.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think you'd get in there, though, if you really looked for somebody, if you really wanted a job. But anyway, then you're stuck and you do that for your life and you're out there and you go, what have I done?
Building somebody else's dream.
Yeah. Unless you put that money, and you're only making a little bit more money than what you'd be making doing this, and you're tied to it every day, 8 o'clock, wake up, go to work, come home.
Exactly.
It's the same bullshit for 30 years. If you don't stick it out 30 years, you wasted your time there.
Oh, for sure.
If you don't stick it out for the full 30, you wasted your fucking life.
You have to, because like I said,
That's the only reason you're there is for the pension.
It is.
It's the only reason.
But it's not that much.
It's not that much.
I worked for 15 years with the union. There might have been like 4 or 5 slower years.
Yeah.
But I worked a lot of good years because it was when Suncor and all those places were going up in Alberta. And I went to pull my pension through the union after not working 2 years at $15,000. Like, so after 40 years of that, what am I going to have? Maybe 40,000?
No, it's too depressing.
You can't live off $40,000.
It's
A $40,000 pension.
No, it's too depressing. Don't bring it up because you know what?
You know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to work on the computer
Like,
and stuff.
And when you calculate it, you need 1.2 million in the bank just to collect $3,000 interest.
I know, but here's the other thing too: is you the key is, and I found this in life. I'm 60 now. Is to find something you love doing. But cover your bases with insurance. Always have insurance when you go traveling. When you're here, always have medical insurance. Always have insurance. It doesn't cost that much to get medical insurance or whatever, right?
Yeah.
A buddy of mine was sailing down to San Francisco. No, down to Mexico, and he wasn't going to stop in the States. He had a stroke on his boat. They had to fly. They had to fly in. This just happened 2 weeks ago. They had to fly and pick him up. A couple of planes, boats to find him. Put him in the hospital. He's got a $500,000 bill U.S. right now because he didn't take out $30 insurance because he wasn't going to stop in the States.
Wow.
But it's always have. I think if you're an entrepreneur, you can always pick up insurance. Whatever that case may be, right? They can't work or whatever. I always tell that to my son.
Yeah.
Have something.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah.
No, that
Something
totally
happens,
makes sense.
right?
Oh, you're on your own.
You're on your
You
own.
don't have a company to back up on
No.
you. You don't have EI to back on you because you're a contractor.
So always, whatever that takes, go through a bank. I think you can do it through banks. Even if it's $30, $40 a month, it's worth having.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have your hands or your feet and a heartbeat.
Well, I fell off my bike not too long ago. My eyes are fucked now, and I broke my neck and my collarbone.
Oh,
And
really?
the doctor said, you're like whoever wanted it.
Wow.
But I'm recovering, but my eyes are still screwed. Anyways, I don't want to go down that road. It's too depressing.
Yeah, I hear you.
So you're going to chase your dreams, and that's the key. You know why? Because I was going to say to you, when you get older, what are you going to do? Everybody's got to work, right? Even you're going to work till you die.
No matter what.
Yeah. What are you going to sit here and have coffee every day when you're 60 and go, oh, this is fun? Even if you won millions of dollars, you got to do something.
Yep.
So you might as well enjoy.
Consultant for TransCanada. I pipelined for 20 years or something. Traveled all across Canada in a suitcase.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Done.
I want a woman in my life.
Yeah.
And I want to experience more of life.
Well, you're doing.
I had that opportunity, and being dumb, I totally walked away from it. And I kicked myself, man. This I was landscaping for this lady. This one of my business attempts.
Yeah.
Did very well. I just kicked off my business.
Yeah.
Second job by chance.
Yeah.
I hired a guy to take out a tree stump, and he's like, I got a contract that might work for you. He's got this beautiful house in this fancy neighborhood close to downtown Edmonton. Walked in, everybody else charged her $120. That was their bid, minimum bid. Said, you give me a shot, $70,000 or what it costs. Like, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna overcharge you, but we're gonna try and give you the most quality work we can. And it worked out. Like, she wanted to marry me, but I was in a relationship with a woman already, and I just had that morale.
where do I go? Like,
Yeah,
she had millions because her dad built up this huge business in Edmonton, building up industrial areas.
Yeah.
And then two guys gained up this huge sum of money because their father died and hired him to build up huge industrial areas in California. She's like multi-millionaire, and then her mother passed away or something, and she got handed like, I don't know, 20, 30 of these apartment buildings.
Oh,
And I walked away from that.
20, 30 apartment.
Like, she was willing to buy me all of my equipment, set me up, and freaking let me run with it. And I was that foolish I didn't go for
Well,
it.
you know what, fate.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I'm a big believer in. You know, do we have choices, or really do we just fool ourselves into thinking we have choices?
Every day I think that.
You know, is it predestined? Because the leaves are going to fall off that tree without me doing anything.
Yeah.
The moon goes around the earth. The cells in my body, my hair fell out. I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
It did. So how much do I really control, or is it just in my head?
I think that every day. Do we really get to make these choices? Are we really looking at the menu and making that choice?
Or is it just the molecules and the atoms in the world are making those for us, and we just sit ourselves and we're making them?
Totally. Well, and then you start talking about energy.
Yeah.
I can have a thought of what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter if it's creating something or work or whatever it is. Somebody else on the other side of the world is going to think similar thought.
I agree with that.
And if I don't take action on it now, they are, and they're going to benefit from it.
Totally. I totally believe that. We're all connected.
So
it's interesting.
Oh, it's very interesting. Feet are getting sore.
Yeah. What time is it?
I don't know.
Well, good luck with your
10:07, I guess.
Okay, I gotta fly. Is it really 10:07?
Yeah.
I wasted all morning sitting here.
Oh, it's great having a conversation.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That was awesome.
All right. See you later, man.
Yeah, have a good day. Conversation.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool, a little bit unexpected. Hope you guys could hear everything that was going on there. I end up in these little conversations quite often with people, and they get quite analytical, I guess you could say, or conspiracy theory. And it's just quite enjoyable. So basically, looking around to see if there's any charge up PowerPoints around here outside, but there's nothing. Take you, just let you see that. Where are we here? Starbucks. Oh yeah, I already said the address once before. Let's take one last look at this beautiful Porsche. So I'd love to own a Porsche one day. Been looking at some crazy builds. Right, there she is. So anyways, another good feed. Well, this one lasted almost an hour, and you stayed with me through the whole thing. That was kind of cool how I captured that. Wonder what else is going to happen today. See if we can capture anything else like that. So let's head over to a Esquimalt now, and we'll go check out that Starbucks there and see what's going on. So I'm just going to keep this on until the feed dies, and we'll see you there. So just jumping into my car here, and boom. There, actually, I should go out on the street. Then you guys can see the whole neighborhood kind of thing. View. Crazy walking around with my computer. There you go. It's flat. That once more. Cool. People are definitely looking at me funny. Oh, they don't want me to know. What's that guy doing with this computer flashing it everywhere? Oh well, nobody's coming up to me. Just getting some funny looks. Whatever. They're YouTube stars now. 55 minutes. Well, hopefully that was a good strong feed and everything worked. Definitely ran into some conversation there. That was cool. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't. It's kind of fun. It's interesting. See where this is going to take me. I don't want to go that way. Construction.